If I look at the sequence 5, 10, 15, 20, what three numbers would come next? Everybody.
25, 30, 35.
Okay. What number would come before this sequence?
0.
0. So the 5 was the which number in the sequence? The 5 was located where? First. The 10 was located where?
Second.
The 15 was. So if I turn this into a table, you can make a table, and we're going to call first, second, and third, we're going to call that position. And 5, 10, 15, 20, that was our sequence. But mathematically, our position is going to be our x values. Our sequence is going to be our y values. So the sequence was 5, 10, 15, 20. The 5 was in the what position? First position. The 10 was in the what position? The 15 was in the, and the 20 was in the fourth. So if I asked you in this pattern, how much is every time we change from 5 to 10, how much is it going up by? 5. It is going up by 5 every time the x changes position. It goes up by 5 every time the x changes by 1 position. That gives me the y value. So if I continue that pattern down, if I plug in 3 to the equation, what is 5 times 3? 15. That's why the 15 comes out of the equation. The sequence on Learn Alberta yesterday was also called the terms. The 5 is the first term. The 10 is the second term. The 15 is the third term in the sequence. The first thing I want you to think of is what are the next 3 numbers that would come in the sequence, and think of what the number is before that number. Fill those in. 21, 25, 29 came after it. What was the number that would go before the sequence? 1. Okay, so the 5 is in the first position, we fill it in the chart. The 9 is in the second position, we put that on the chart. How much does it go up? Every time it changes position, how much does it go up by, everybody? 4. So it goes up by 4 every time the x changes position. But if I plugged 1 into this equation, it wouldn't give me a 5. So what do we have to do to this equation? So if I plug 1 here, 4 plus what will actually give me the y value of 5? 4 plus 1 is 5. Where do you see 1 in the sequence? At the number we put before the sequence. The reason we like this is at any point I could plug in a number. For example, if I plug in y as 17, that works for the sequence. 17 plus 4 times 4 is 16. I plug that in for the x, plus 1. 16 plus 1 gives me 17. You could use this equation to tell me what the 100th number is, to tell me what the 200th number is. The sequence for number 2 in 3-6 in the workbook is 3, 10, 17, 24. First thing, think of what are the next 3 numbers in the sequence. Think about what is the number before the sequence. The next 3 numbers are 20, 31, 38, 40, 45, and the number that comes before the sequence is -4. How did we come up with this? Once again, if we made a table, what number is in the first position? 3. What number was in the second? 10. What number was in the third? 17. Okay, now we're going to write the equation. To get from 3 to 10, how much did the sequence go up by? It went up by 7 every time we changed the x value. But if I put y equals into that equation, that would not work out to give me 3 for an answer. If I plug in, we're going to break down this equation, plus 7, but in place of x, I'm going to put these numbers. In place of x, I'll put a 1. In place of y, I'll put a 3. What do I have to add or subtract to this number so that this works? We have to add a -4. Why do we have to add -4? That's the same thing as 7 minus 4 will give me the 3. Once again, that -4 is the same thing as what comes before the sequence.
That is so cool.